Hey, what's up, guys? Got a cool video for you today. We're going to be reading the Winter Filson catalog page by page, talking about product specs and talking about the pros and cons of buying workwear marketed to yacht owners who've made their millions mucking horse shit on a clam ranch for a living. Look, this guy's going to blow the mountain. And no, that wasn't a Game of Thrones reference. Here's White Jesus. He scored the sweet jack shirt off a limp vendor after the cleansing of the temple. Okay, we're done. We aren't going to do it that way. Figured I'd try to start the video normally for a change. Looks like that didn't work out. I saw on Instagram last week Ben and Matt from Blade HQ talking about how a video should start with, "Hey, what's up, guys?" No one else saw that? It was funny to me. Today's video is about another knife. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, I don't know, I'm trying to read the room. What's this channel about again? The K-Bar Dozier, Dozier, Dozer, Gozer. Ray, the next time someone asks you to loan them a knife, the answer is yes. A knife made for an average, not in a Filson catalog, bro. Like the guy that said, "Hey, I'll say it ain't too bad," a time or two in his life. But before we get into any of that, and while you're trying to figure out if there's literally any connection between a $20 K-Bar pocket knife and a clothing catalog for assholes wearing our iconic heavyweight brushed flannel that's been providing warmth in the field for men for decades, let's take a look at the dimensions, like the overall length, and weight. I bought a jacket, a belt, and a wallet from them on sale a few years ago. I guess they think I have a trust fund because they send me maybe 6 beautifully shot catalogs a year. Blade size and cutting edge. Got to charge $400 for a Mackinac Cruiser to hire that sexy rugged model. Handle size, grip area. Shooting them with Hasselblads. I could use a Hasselblad or a red instead of my $500 Panasonic. That's with a lens. Spine thickness and handle thickness. If somebody wants to buy me a red, I would take that. I'm not above handouts. Tallness closed. Throughout the decades I've been doing this channel, the Dozier comes up, and a follower on Instagram was asking me about it recently, so I decided, what the hell, and bought it. The Dozier is a sort of compact, lightweight knife that's designed to be an affordable, functional pocket knife, but maybe not impress dudes into knives. It features a right about 3-inch drop point hollow ground blade made from satin finished Aus 8 steel, getting all the adjectives together in that one sentence. It's that steel everyone wishes was the marginally better Sandvik. I say that because recently I was browsing Cedric and Ada's steel test spreadsheets, and while Aus 8 ranked lower in steel tests than a few of the Sandviks, no argument there, calling Sandvik good and Aus 8 bad doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Here, let's put it this way. Aus 8 is an okay steel, and Sandvik is like a okay steel. I'll link those below just so you can read it and interpret it like I did. The blade is deployed by a thumb stud and is configured for right-handed deployment out of the box. But you can swap the thumb stud if you have a star key and flip the pocket clip for easier, ickier left-handed deployment. It's not a quick deployment, just a gentle thumb motion, and it opens. And a bird softly tweets and echoes across the sound in your favorite city in Alaska, Seattle. You can even use 2 hands if you'd rather take it slower. Lockup is handled by a lockback mechanism. Kind of stiff, but solid. You can close it one-handed if you flick downward when pressing the lock, but be careful to have a finger forward so the tang hits your finger when you flick downward and not the blade. If you don't have your finger in the right place, you're going to cut yourself. Then close it the rest of the way. Or you can always close it two-handed if you don't take chances and ain't in a hurry. The handle is kept light by a linerless Zytel. It's got 2 slabs of Zytel screwed together, which is a form of hard-wearing plastic. It gives plenty of texture in the wet, even though I have pretty much only used it indoors in the past few weeks. But in the hand, it feels very grippy. There's plenty of room for my hand, and it doesn't feel small in my grip. Pocket clip is not deep carry, and you're looking at about 0.8 of an inch sticking out of your pocket as you carry it. The clip is tight and snappy, and it looks to be a painted stainless steel, so I would expect flakage as you carry it for a while. It's gives it character, and it can be swapped to the right or left side in a tip-up configuration only. Comparisons: first the Dozier, a good buy for only $20. Great for everyday carry, or as a backup in a tackle box, or as yet a footnote in your knife addiction. I own a few Japanese-made and Chinese-made Spydercos, and this feels on par with those in quality and, solidness in the hand. There's no up and down or side to side blade play. How about the Buck 110 Select now? If you want a little bigger and made in the USA, this is a good choice at only $30. Not possible to close one-handed though, so there's that. I reviewed this about 2 weeks ago and people are still mad about how I pointed out the original Buck 110 has always been a heavy knife for its size. Moral of the story is, for some people, the worst thing for another man to say on the internet is they'd prefer knives with pocket clips that aren't 7 ounces. We live in tough times. Now this Spyderco Delica 4 with a Warncliffe style blade. They make it in a regular drop point too, but I'm not going to buy this knife again to get the drop point. It's a little too small for me. It's about $70. Has a slightly better than Sandvik steel, known as VG10. It's a little smaller and easier to close one-handed. If someone wanted a good knife with more of an emphasis on price, I'd go with the Buck or the Dozier. Now the Spyderco Tenacious. Now out of all the cheap knives here, this would be the one I would pick personally, and here's why. It has a similar steel to the Dozier. It's larger and has an easy quick deployment with one-handed opening and closing. It's a larger knife, so, it's heavier, $40. It'd be nice if it had a longer wearing steel in it, but it doesn't. I still don't really carry this one either, but some people, like to carry cheap stuff. Now, I wish I had the Ontario Rat too, but I couldn't find it for the review. So if you could imagine that knife here in my hand for a second. And also, have you seen it laying around? And last but not least, the Chris Reeve Sebenza 21. Okay, just fucking with you. That was for the Filson crowd. Although spending $400 on a Mackinac Cruiser, buying 2 or 3 K-bar Doziers may actually make more sense than a Sebenza, unless of course you're this guy. So if you don't have a ton of money and need something lightweight, it's hard to go wrong with the $20 knife. The Dozier is made in Taiwan, feels on par with the Spyderco or, similar. Ontario. A good everyday carry knife that won't impress assholes who own Chris Reeve knives, but will get a nice thank you from a person who asks you, "Hey, do you have a knife I could borrow for a second?" To pry open a paint can, and then they cut their tuna fish sandwich in half and immediately close it without wiping down the blade. Those kind of people. If you like this sort of review, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, Patreon me if you feel it in your heart. The usual. And as of right now, I'm probably only capable of putting out a video a week, and it's not going to be on the Mondays and Tuesdays, it'll just be whenever it goes up. So in the meantime, you could either just watch this one twice or, just watch a beer review. Thanks for watching.